Apple has recently released its latest update to iOS 16.5. And with this release, Apple has patched some key security issues, introduced a few welcome new features, and squashed some bugs. Let's dive in. But first, coffee. This video has been timestamped below in case you would like to skip to the items you are most interested in. Let's start with the security patches. Apple disclosed that there were 39 security items that were patched, 3 of which were known to be actively exploited. 2 of these were patched in the recent rapid release update Apple issued a couple of weeks ago. But one vulnerability still remained in the wild and exposed us to a lot of risk. Some other items Apple included in the security patches included vulnerabilities that exposed our sensitive information to applications, such as information from our own input into apps, location information being exposed to apps without their permission, and even photos you may have placed in the hidden photos album that could have been viewed without authentication. So if for no other reason than the security updates, please make sure to update your devices as quickly as possible. Another recommendation I have is that for any cell-enabled device, that includes iPhones or iPads with the cellular capability on, that after you update to the latest iOS, you also check to see if your cell carrier has any updates for your device. To check this, you can open the Settings app, go to General, then About, and not everyone will get a carrier update, but if you do, and one's there, you will see this pop-up come up on your screen for you to accept and then apply. Typically, carriers issue their own updates to address security issues, as well as call quality, performance, and the performance of their networks. Now let's continue with the new features and enhancements that were introduced. First up, a new Pride celebration wallpaper for the lock screen to honor the LGBTQ+ community and culture. Secondly, an exciting new addition to the Apple News app. They've added a new menu at the bottom for sports, and this is where you can easily access all of the stories, scores, standings, and games from the teams and leagues that you follow. Your preferences can be set within the News app using some prompts. Sports, scores, and schedule cards in Apple News can now take you directly to game pages where you can find additional details about your games, and if available on Apple TV, you can open up the game in the Apple TV or queue it up so you don't miss a game. Another app was updated as well. The Apple Music app was updated to include a new feature called Set Lists. So if there are artists that you follow, you can look at their set list and not only see what songs they play in their concerts, but you can also browse their upcoming concerts that are going to be in your area. Alongside set lists, the Apple Maps app was updated so that in the guides section that you have, it can include all of the music events that are coming up or happening in your area. The Shazam app was also tweaked to allow integration with the newly released classical music app. That way it can provide you with any classical music suggestions. Lastly, let's review some of the bugs that Apple squashed. First up, there was an issue with Spotlight that was unresponsive for some users, and Apple has addressed that issue, so everything now is streamlined and very responsive. Apple also fixed the issue where podcasts in CarPlay were not loading correctly or not loading the content. Another key issue that was fixed by Apple was with screen time, where the settings may reset and not sync across all of your devices. Another issue that Apple fixed was where the volume on your phone would suddenly increase. And that would happen, for example, if you were watching a video on Apple TV and you got a FaceTime call or a phone call, you hung up, and then when your video resumed, the volume was now at 100%, blowing out your eardrums. So Apple has fixed that finally. Yay! So in conclusion, the performance of this new release feels very stable, and for me, I've had no issues with battery life at all, and I would highly recommend upgrading, if not for the security updates alone. Now, in the meantime, it looks like Apple is working on their next release, which is 16.6, ahead of iOS 17, which is going to be revealed in June at WWDC. So more coming. After updating your iPhone or iPad, don't forget to update all your other iOS-based devices like your watch, TV, HomePods, as well as any macOS devices that you may have. So, with all that said, are you guys a fan of the new Sports tab in Apple News? Are you excited about the new Pride wallpaper? If so, leave me a comment below. Until next time, stay curious.